Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Hope you're all well. This is a quick tutorial and a few updates on the Nusuk platform with regards to packages supported by Dar es Salaam Travel. As we all know, we are servicing three service providers, supporting three service providers, Al Burj, Sira Mawasim, and Abdul Latif Jameel. Now remember, the packages that we are supporting in these three companies start with either a DS or a DST or include a DS and a DST within their package name. What you'll be able to do is search for it in the packages. So as you can see here, this would be your front page with, of course, an activated wallet. And if you have a configured program, it'll show here as my package. So for a moment here, we're going to assume that you have not selected a preferred package or a configured package, and you've already updated your e-wallet or topped up your e-wallet based on the recommendations of Nusuk. What we'll do then is search in the packages. We're going to click on packages. And then we're simply going to go to the search for a package and type in DS only. No spaces, just DS only. And it will populate all the 11 packages that are available, the first 9, and the second page is going to be the remaining 2. If you notice here, the first 3 are the packages that are under 50,000 reals. And again, this is 50,000 reals, or the number that you're seeing here is per person in Saudi reals in a quad occupancy, the lowest price in that package, excluding flights. The first 3 are the shifting programs, 2 of which are Al Burj, which is Deluxe A and B, and the Mawasim Sira Elite DST 003, also shifting. The remainder of the programs, which is another 8, are the non-shifting programs, and they'll increase in price as you go to the next page. The best thing to do is first establish what is your preferred package, which is your secondary package that you're going to opt for if you have to empty your cart if the package is full. So for me, I would say that DS Hajj Jameel Crown Plaza 1, sorry, refreshed. So we're going to go back again and go to DS, and we will choose an heart DS Hajj Jameel Crown Plaza 1. So this becomes your preferred package, okay? And now what we want to do, it resets again. We'll go again and do DS. So you have to just get used to these resets at times. And let's say I'm going to choose Deluxe B packages. So I'm going to click on View Details. And this is just a view. You have not configured or selected this program yet. When you click on Configure Package, our understanding is once you get to this page and select the beds and click Next, then you've at least held onto this package for a duration of up to 1 hour for you to select the next steps. So the great thing about it is the system really deducts from the quota and the seat once you select this part. So here, remember that anything that has 2 hotels or 3 hotels, this is a shifting, so I'll have another one. Every single person in your profile must have 1 bed per item, per hotel. So we'll have to do 1, 1, and 1 if this is a profile of 1 person. If it's 2 or 3, this will replicate and multiply by the number of people. When you click on Next, if the package is still available, it'll move you on to the additional services. Remember that there are some programs that have the Udhiyah, some don't. You can click on the Udhiyah. If it's there as an extra service, you can click on it. Besides that, everything else is included. The Medina to Mecca transport is included. The meet and assist in Medina or Jeddah airport is included. The transfer to Medina from Medina or from Jeddah airport to your first destination or last destination if you're using custom flight or a group flight is included for all 11 packages, brothers and sisters. This is a common question that's being asked, and we're going to discuss this in the airlines as well. If you do need wheelchair, you can click on one here, and we can go to next. This is going to be the last page. Remember, brothers and sisters, we talked about the configuration details and the prices in the past. So we're not really gonna talk about that. We're gonna basically talk more about the flights. For this specific package, you do have Chicago and Toronto only. Those are the group of flights that are currently available for the specific package. Uh, Based on what we've seen so far from the Al Musafir platform, it will, inshallah, based on what we're seeing, if there is no glitches in the whole system, it should be seamless. So what I want to do is I want to be able to let you know this is a program that arrives on the 10th, starts in Mecca first. So we're going to go Jeddah and then return Medina. If the multi-city doesn't work, let's disregard the fact that it might work or might not work. There must be a reason why they're refusing to open it at this time, or maybe they eventually will. But let's assume for a moment it does not work. And we're going to do just round trip. So my suggestion is always to choose a round trip package with the return in mind. So if your program ends in Medina, then I'm going to do a round trip Medina. If my program ends in Mecca, then I'll do a round trip Jeddah. That's my recommendation. You can always do the opposite. The ground transportation from Medina or from Jeddah to your first destination or last destination, inshallah, will be included from all our service providers in the supported 11 packages, inshallah. So we're going to click on acknowledge and select the flight. By the way, you don't have to click on save configuration at the end. You've already configured this package. So you'll notice here that it's already been configured. So this will be your configured package, and the room is already blocked for you. Not now, but when you open up and you select it, of course. But right now, you're at least in the saved configuration part. So now we're going to increase the screen here. I believe most of you now have access to this and have been able to do it. We're going to read the rules as we've read it before. We've done this before. So now we know that we need to arrive into Medina round trip. We're going to do a round trip Medina. And we're going to do it. What I like to do is basically choose a destination in the Middle East. Okay, and basically use that for my entry and exit. So if I'm dropping off children, or even if I'm in a different gateway, it doesn't matter if it's New York or Chicago. Let's say for a moment it's Chicago and I don't want those flights. I'll still choose Dubai Medina or Istanbul Medina or Doha Medina or Abu Dhabi Medina or even Jeddah. It doesn't matter. But right now I'm using the concept of I'm using the round trip, which is going to be ending in Medina. So I'm going to do a round trip Medina. I need to enter on the 10th. So I'm going to choose the 10th. And I need to leave on the 23rd. So I'm going to choose the 23rd. I am one individual, economy, show flights. And here everything shows. So again, remember that you can connect as a stopover in Riyadh, Ta'if, or Yamba. So here the Riyadh connection is perfectly fine for me. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to be coming from Seattle, or I'm coming from Manchester, or I'm coming from Sydney, wherever it may be. By the way, brothers and sisters, this doesn't have to be specific to a destination. It could be from any 126 countries, and you come into Dubai or come into Istanbul, wherever you like. So I prefer, for instance, the one stop or less. They're only giving me one stop or less. And you have the options. The fastest one is for 11,000 rials, of course. This is going to be too much. So what we're going to do is, and this flight is, see this? This flight is not allowed. Please refer to the important information. Why? Because with the stopover in Dubai, you arrive in Medina at 3:10 a.m. on the 11th. So that's not applied or possible to be done in the program that you are going on, because the last day is the 4th of Dhul Hijjah, with exception if it's a group booking, that's perfectly fine. But here, if you notice, you leave at 12:50 a.m. on the 11th from Dubai, from Doha. So this is not going to work. So let's just go back to the recommended option. And I will choose, I'll choose this one. It's not a big deal. I'm connecting for 6 hours, or how long am I connecting for? I'm connecting for 2.5 hours only, going, and 2 hours and 40 minutes on the return. So I'm going to select this. And typically what's going to happen here is that it'll show you your traveler details, your first name, your gender, your date of birth, and sometimes that modification needs to be adjusted in terms of the date. You can't do it; it's not allowed to change it. So they're going to change that concept if it hasn't been finalized yet. Then we're going to click on I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions, and then we'll submit. Now, remember, brothers and sisters, when you're looking at this here now, you're looking at if you click on submit, it's going to be a white screen. And I understand that individuals have said you can remove certain elements or certain words or the callback and refresh, or you can use the Arabic change. Regardless of what it is, the system is not active yet. So whatever you do, it's really just for you to train and train your muscle memory to do that. So once you submit, what's supposed to happen essentially is uh, um, the Al Musafir platform holds this reservation for you and waits for a trigger from Nusuk to identify once you close the purchase that they send a message to Al Musafir saying that you've paid for it and now issue the ticket. So that's the internal process they're finalizing right now for the production key and the callbacks and the triggers. So remember that that's usually the process that's going to happen. Again, let's say, for instance, we're going to click on submit here. And this is what you'll see. Now, as you can see, you may have seen this as well, that when they work in the system and it depends on the gateways, you'll see that you get a travel order reference number. There's Dubai Medina and says, thank you, your request has been submitted. You'll be notified once ticket has been issued. So this is what I was talking about. Basically, once they click on that, if it works now or it doesn't work, right now you may have been held a seat of any airline, and within 15 minutes it's released because what's happening is that Nusuk is not sending a message saying that you've made this payment. All right. So that's what's very important to acknowledge. But you at least have the exercise done. As you can see, you'll see here the status. Your booking is currently being processed. Nothing is happening because nothing is going anywhere because right now there hasn't been a trigger that says you made the payment. But this is all an exercise, so you can get used to this. All right. So right now, what we're going to do is going back to the dashboard, and we're going to notice now that this is configured. So when the packages open up, whether it's going to be a cart, whether here it says buy now, regardless of where it is, we're going to click, click, click next, acknowledge and select the flight. Now, once you're in here, you still have some time, so don't panic here. Once you're in here, once it goes live, I'm going to do this. I know now I'm going to go Dubai, Medina. If it's round trip, I know that I'm using a return for Medina for the package. I'm doing 10 June and I'm doing 23rd return. Show flights. I'm choosing whatever I've decided on before. I've clicked on submit. I've chosen the package. Again, here, if I refresh, it will give me your booking is currently in process. Great. I've done it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of these clips real quick. We've gone through it slowly. I'm going to show you one more example with Abdul Latif Jamil, for instance. Then we're going to do it really fast to show you how easy it should be. Inshallah, hopefully the system accepts all of this. Bidnillah. So again, here I need to remove this. Let's say it's booked. I'm going to say empty your cart. Yes, empty my cart. I'm going to then select view details, scroll down to my option, configure package, one, if there's two or three, next. I'm going to choose my udhiyah, next. Then I have the option to choose Los Angeles or Washington or New York or Montreal, depending on the program. Now remember, brothers and sisters, if this program begins on the 7th, if you are going to connect on a flight that arrives on the 8th, that's fine. If you miss one day, it's perfectly fine. If it's up to you, it's your choice. But if you're missing more than a day, I wouldn't recommend it. Again, let's not get hung up on the group flights. And real quick, you don't have to, but if it starts in Jeddah and ends in Medina, but you're starting essentially in Medina, it's fine if you select it, if you like this option, even if it's later. Some people will choose it. And remember that there are other packages with Abdul Latif Jamil or Al Borj or Sira that might be using or pooling these bookings, possibly not all of them. That's not meant to alarm you, but some of them might be using it, might be using this later flights, which is perfectly fine. But to me, none of these matter, so I'm going to acknowledge and select a seat or through the custom flights. And of course, this is going to happen, but hopefully it does not reset me. And I'm going to go again, and this time I'm going to do Doha. Let's say Medina or Jeddah. Remember, again, if I'm ending in Jeddah, I can just do Jeddah. And I'm arriving on the 7th, leaving on the 21st. Search. It says connecting in Riyadh. Let's say, I mean, this is an amazing price actually, right? So then I can figure out getting to Doha from the US or London or the UK or Australia or Canada. It wouldn't matter, even if I have to stay one day. But I can choose this, or I can choose a ticket that is direct, nonstop, 5 times the price, and I can select it. And I go through and reviewing my personal information, and then I submit, and here I am again in the callback. And I can refresh or remove the empty callback message, or press back and it will pull up. But again, it's always pending. It's going to show pending. And I'm pretty much done. So I go to dashboard and I already have this plan to be configured, which says my package. Okay, so remember, brothers and sisters, it's about speed. It's about getting ready to have these packages ready. Also, at the same time, the flights is not an issue. If it's too much or a round trip in a different gateway, you can forego it. Don't touch it. Go to custom flights. Now, there's one thing that I do want to show you that we're going to share with you. Let's assume for a moment your package is empty and or you couldn't purchase it. Then the alternative is that you'll go into another package, the preferred package. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to give you a Google sheet of the links that show directly, that go into, not the package page. It's not going to be this package details, right? So let's say if this is closed or sold, you're going to have to go into packages, then I'll wait until this pulls up. And of course, every second counts. If we do DS, then we have to click here and then select Deluxe B. And then we view the details. I'm not grabbing anything yet. And once I come here, so that would take at least 10 seconds to get to this page where you can do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you a Google Sheet with the links of these packages that are up here, which is room configuration. I can show you this right now as well. Here it is here, for instance. So if I want to go to Deluxe B, I'm going to click right away and it's going to open up Deluxe B. Okay. So, see if we can do that. And here it pops up right away. So we're going to share that Google Sheet, so don't worry. You'll be able to click on those links. We'll add a few more also packages in there. So one last thing that I wanted to add, and this is not meant to create any stresses or anxieties, and I'm not sure if we're able to provide numbers, so that's why we're going to do a general idea based on the statistics we've had for configurations. If you are choosing Deluxe A, you might be better off choosing Deluxe B. The Deluxe A is a bit higher in terms of configuration. So maybe you might want to look at Deluxe B if you wanted to, or the DST003 from Sira Mawasim. That's another two alternatives that you might want to configure now because the Deluxe A has a high demand. For executive programs for Al Borj, They are on high demand. I would probably say that Executive A is on a very high demand, so you might want to change your choice to the Executive B if you can. If you're interested in doing it now, this is just a heads up. And I know everyone's going to be asking what are the numbers and what are the figures. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if we're able to disclose all of that information. But again, it's all about speed, regardless of what number you know or you have. It's all about speed and racing between the quota that's being done for each country as well. Again, signature A and signature B are pretty high up there, but those are the highest packages. So again, it's speed. The Sira Mawasim programs are also up there, so you might want to have alternatives. The Abdul Latif Jamil packages, the Crown Plaza one is almost at at capacity, but not yet. And the Crown Plaza is also going to be a package that you can use as an alternative or a primary. You have a better chance probably getting the Jamil Crown Plaza one or Crown Plaza as well as the Deluxe B for Al Burj or DST 003 Sira Mawasim than the other programs that have a high probability of being booked real quick. So I hope you understand this part. You can rewind this message and listen to it again. But in summary, the highest packages or highest demand is Deluxe A, Executive A, Signature B, and Sira Mawasim DST 001. Those are the highest capacity. So if you can change your configuration to other packages, you may have a better chance unless you are firm on those other packages and are prepared to go at full speed, inshallah, if Allah wills, and you are invited, then you will have that package bi'idhnillah. I hope this was helpful. Jazakallah khair. We will try to create more tutorials if needed, but I think this should be one of the sessions that might be helpful for the next steps, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.